Quaid Azam, Part 215. I immediately replied, "You may partition the Muslim areas from the rest of India and proceed with your scheme of federation of Indian provinces without including the Muslim areas, which should be independent from the rest." Lord Zetland, what would happen to the states? They ought to follow the geographical situation. If they are in the Hindu zone, they must go with them, and if they are in Muslim zone, they must go with that zone. Lord Zetland, what about defense? For what period, my lord? If you want to know, for the period that you are associated in some form or the other with the administration of India, there would be no difficulty in defense of India, because you can use the armies of both these areas according to your needs. But if you want to know for the period that you are not in any way connected with the administration of the country, then I beg of your lordship not to put that question to me, for God only knows what would happen to us then. Lord Zetland, do you want an answer from me? It would be presumptuous on my part to ask for an answer to this big question just after mentioning it to you. I have brought it to your notice that this is going to be the stand of the Muslims in the next session of the Muslim League. There is simple time for you to think about it. We were with Lord Zetland for 1.5 hours, and when he rose to take leave, he informed us that there was a very important cabinet meeting which he had to attend. He thought that the world situation was very grave and nobody could say what would happen. There might be a war in the near future. Azam returned to Bombay on 12 May 1939. The same evening he met Jinnah and narrated the whole talk which he had with the Under Secretary and the Secretary of State. Well, we can have the dates over here. The date set for the meeting was 21 March, and they met. Azam returned to Bombay on 12 May 1939, and yes, it was there in 1939. So the meeting was there in March, 20th March 1939, and here they meet Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah on 12 May 1939. The same evening he met Jinnah and narrated the whole talk which he had with Under Secretary and the Secretary of the State. Congress Ministry 1937 to 1939, the consequences. For approximately 2 years, while the Congress ministries maintained preoccupied with office and the wielding of not so much of power as dispensing patronage, the Muslim League worked towards mobilizing and consolidating Muslim support in North India. This, in large part, was on account of the anger generated by communal rights during this period, all occurring during the tenure of the Congress ministry. Placing the responsibility for these rights solely upon the Congress was, of course, neither justified nor fair, but then the party was holding office, and it was the Congress alone who would have to answer and be held accountable for any disorder in UP. By the time the Congress ministries resigned, they had the misfortune of governing during a phase of heightened communal violence and tension. Because of the anger that these riots generated, many more Muslims in the United Provinces now found it easy to put their trust in communal champions like League. Also, given that this coming to power of the Congress, mainly Hindu in composition, had resulted a generating predictable mood of the belligerence among the Hindus. In consequence, it became much less likely now that the UP Muslims were going to look towards the Congress for any relief or shelter. The Muslim League